I give you all my blessing. You've come here out of faith in the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha today. We've all gathered here together to perform a ceremony today which involves recollecting the virtues and the good qualities of the Buddha. It's a time where we recollect how much the Buddha has done for us, and this normally brings up a sense of gratitude in our hearts for his life and teachings and all that he did for the world. So this ceremony is an expression of that. And we say that the Buddha is one who is worthy of veneration and respect. He was one who taught the Dhamma, taught truth to people with a heart of purity, out of pure kindness and compassion, in a very unconditional way, without seeking anything in return. So this day is a very significant day for us as Buddhists. We give it importance because we're remembering the Buddha's own quest for spiritual liberation. He was one who practiced until he realized the full potential that a human being can realize. He reached the Vimutti Dhamma, Vimokkha Dhamma. That means reached full liberation of heart from all that causes suffering and unhappiness. He is like a lotus that springs forth out of the water and blooms in the sunlight. Something that everybody agrees is beautiful and attractive. When we remember this, we are seeing and considering the value of his enlightenment to us. Particularly because it's such a rare thing to have a being in the world that is fully enlightened. It's one of those things that they say is rare in the world. It's difficult to arise in the world. It's not easy for a Buddha to come into the world fully enlightened, self-enlightened. It's not easy to get to have the chance to hear the teachings of a Buddha. And it's also rare and difficult to have the chance to practice those teachings, having heard them with faith, and rare to realize the Dhamma, the same realizations that the Buddha had. Just to hear the Dhamma, to listen with our intelligence, to be able to have mindfulness and use our wisdom, our intelligence to contemplate the meaning of that Dhamma, is something very difficult. To do that, we have to first have some saddha, some confidence that it's a worthy cause, it's something worthwhile. Generally, our saddha, or our confidence in life, it goes towards those things which are important for us ourselves. This is what we call atthatthipatthaya, taking oneself as the most important principle in life. That's different from dhammatthipatthaya, where one takes the Dhamma as the one's most important guiding principle in life. The Buddha was one who was complete with all the spiritual perfections, the parami. He was self-enlightened. He had complete purity of wisdom. And that wisdom was so deep and profound, it penetrated all aspects of reality, of existence. He had direct insight into the Arya Satya Dhamma. That means his wisdom was complete, thorough, all round and penetrating. He understood what was suffering, what is suffering, the cause of suffering, the cessation of suffering and the path leading to the cessation of suffering. And that complete understanding, complete penetration of the Four Noble Truths brought its result. And the result was a purity of heart. Because he had developed those spiritual qualities and those perfections, he experienced this purity of heart. And that purity of heart resulted in turn in a mind completely imbued with metta, kindness, karuna, compassion for all beings, without any bias in the mind, a pure, unconditional kindness and compassion to all other beings. This is the nature of a Buddha's purity. He only had the thought to do that which is beneficial for all other beings. He saw all beings as equal in the sense his kindness and compassion was unconditional, he didn't choose. But at the same time he divided beings into the four groups that he compared to the four kinds of lotus. The first kind are those lotuses that are still stuck down in the mud at the bottom of the pond. Whether they will grow or not is still a bit uncertain. They can easily fall to be the food of fish or turtles. The second kind of lotus is found in the middle of the pond, in the middle layer of water, and it's still not safe from the fish and the turtles. The third kind of lotus has reached the surface of the water and it's level with the surface of the water. So it has its chance to bloom, but it still hasn't gone into bloom. The fourth kind of lotus has already stretched up above the water where it can gain sunlight and has the best opportunity to bloom. The Buddha saw these four types of lotus in society, meaning there's four types of people ready for hearing and realizing the Dhamma. And he saw how to teach people correctly according to their level of development. And as he did that, he never worried about his own well-being, his own safety. He just did everything for others. So the Buddha had these three main qualities that we recollect today. He had wisdom, purity and compassion. So when we come here today, we're coming to show our respect for the Buddha and to practice together venerating the Buddha, these qualities. We take flowers, candles and incense as the symbols of our respect for him and the qualities he represents. And we act in ways that display this veneration, in ways that display humility and gentleness. Because this is actually our spiritual wealth, our internal wealth. Normally in life all of us feel stressed, irritated and have suffering because of the pressures of life. But these qualities that we develop, they take us beyond that. They are what we call acharya sampati. They make us one who is practicing, allowing us to live in society in a safe and good way. With these kind of qualities, humility, gentleness, respect, we develop a sense of mutual respect with other beings in society, a mutual sensitivity and kindness towards others. When we have humility and gentleness, we won't be caught into mistrust or suspicion, and others won't have that towards us. There will generally be mutual trust, mutual respect between ourselves and others. We will have friends, true friends, because of this mutual respect. Acharya sampati means having correct behaviour in society, knowing what good manners are, meaning knowing how to behave in a way that is conducive to harmony and for the benefit of oneself and others, not harmful to others, so that one can live in society without harm or danger. When we display these qualities that I've been talking about, it supports our practice in every level. It supports our spiritual growth, our maturity of character. And as these qualities ripen, it allows us to see the Dhamma. In his previous lives, the Buddha developed these same qualities over and over again. In that life as the hermit, Sumedha, he developed humility and kindness as a parami. That was the very life where he made the determination to become a Buddha in the future. Our Dhamma practice is developing spiritual wealth inside. Sila Sampati is spiritual wealth of morality, restraint. We all have wealth, external wealth, our money and possessions, but these are very uncertain. Our internal wealth is much more valuable, more lasting, and it supports our practice to realize the Dhamma. With Sila Sampati, the inner wealth of morality, this is based on the fear of wrongdoing and a sense of shame. Fear of wrongdoing comes through wise reflection, considering the consequences of our actions. You can compare this to the way we deal with fire in the world. We all know that fire has its dangerous side. It can burn, it can harm us. So when we are around fire, we're careful. We can use fire in many useful ways to provide energy, heat and so on, but we use it with care. Sila, morality, gives us this sense of care. We don't do things that are going to bring us and other people harm or suffering. So Sila, in this way, it supports the arising of many wholesome mental states. Out of Sila we develop respect, honesty for others and a sense of harmlessness. This all brings a sense of value and worth to our minds, to our hearts. Acharya Sampati, this I've talked about, this is our external manners, displaying a sense of sensitivity and humility in society towards other people. Ditthi Sampati means the inner wealth of having correct views that are in line with the Dhamma. When we follow just our sense of self, our moods, this is what we call atthati-patthaya. We put ourselves first before the Dhamma even. Or some people follow lokati-patthaya, which means the views of the world, of society. But there's another way, and that's the way of Dhammati-patthaya, meaning the way of the Dhamma, the way of truth, using this as a guiding principle in your life. It's not to our benefit to always just follow our moods, any thought, any mood, any impulse that comes into our mind. If you look at it carefully, you can see that's actually a childish way to live in the world. When we do that, we just follow our moods. We generally act, say, if we like something, we say, oh, this is good. If we dislike something, we say, oh, this is bad. But there's no real wisdom there. The Dhamma teaches us to reflect and use reason, reflection and wisdom to make our decisions and our choices. To do that which is appropriate for our true well-being, not just to follow our moods. So with Ditthi Sampati, meaning this inner wealth of having correct views, we're developing Tituja karma, meaning the karma of good karma, of bringing our minds directly in line with the truth, with the Dhamma. Whatever the time, the place, our views are correct and right in accordance with the Dhamma. The result of this is a mind without stress and a mind without danger. So today we have come together as a group, as Buddhists, who have a faith and confidence in the effectiveness of the Buddhist path. I myself have come here as a temporary guest to stay with you But actually we all live in the same world, just live on different parts of the surface of that world. When we meet like this, we can exchange our views and experience in the practice of Dhamma to help and support each other in our practice. This is something very auspicious in our lives. And the Buddha said this is auspicious, to discuss the Dhamma at the right times, to talk on Dhamma, to practice the Dhamma for the end of suffering. So when we come together like this on these kind of occasions, these ceremonies, we bring food, we bring offerings, and we listen to the Dhamma. One good result of this is that we become familiar with the Dhamma and we become familiar with each other. We become like relatives in the Dhamma and are able to support each other in the practice. All of us are getting older, all of us are getting weaker, our health degenerates over time. When we have true friends, then we can support each other in this, in our old age and through illness. This is the correct way for people to live, using their mindfulness and their wisdom to live in a good way. So now the time has reached, has arrived that we dedicate ourselves to the veneration of the virtues, the virtuous qualities of the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha. And in a moment there will be a short verse that we chant to dedicate that. So I give you all my anumodana, my blessing, and express my appreciation for the practice you are doing. And I ask that the power of the goodness of your practice, the power of the goodness of the practice of the Sangha here, and for the Bharami of the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha, may it protect you and guide you and lead you to success in your practice, to ultimate peace and happiness in your lives.